What's up, everybody? It's Priyon Joni. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to clean and disinfect your gear after you come home from a gig. The reason why we want to do this is because of the current case of the epidemic of the disease we shall not name here on YouTube because we'll get demonetized. It's become really important for you to clean items that you bring into your house. So that way you can minimize the introduction of any germs that could cause sickness. This is something I've actually been doing as a habit even before the epidemic. Every time I come home from a gig, I do what I can to clean everything. And a lot of things are pretty straightforward as to what to clean, but this video just walks you through my routine, and it's to help you catch anything that you might miss when you do your cleaning. The way we're gonna do this today is gonna be pretty thorough. It's gonna come off a little germophobic, but right now, germophobia is trending. A few items that you're gonna need. So we got Clorox disinfectant wipes, got some paper towel. I have a thick microfiber towel and I have a thin microfiber towel. And this is something you can get from Amazon or Costco. It is lens wipes. It's typically used for your glasses or your camera lens, but this comes really handy when it comes to music gear. So before we get started, just wanted to let you know that this video is brought to you by Direct Music Service. DMS is an online database for working DJs and mix artists. It's the one-stop shop where you can get your music from for your gigs. It's a searchable, organized database with thousands of edits, remixes, and different versions of your favorite tracks from many different genres. What's also awesome about Direct Music Service, if you're always on the road just like me, they have this awesome mobile app so that you can search your favorite tunes, put them on a wish list, and they'll be ready for you on your Dropbox folder when you get home. And brand new for 2020, you can now save some money and get a discount using one of these two coupon codes. Use the code PJMonthly and get 30% off your first month off any monthly subscription. Use the coupon code PJYearly and get 10% off your entire first year of any yearly subscription. Go to directmusicservice.com today to sign up. All right, so just so you know what we have here, I got my DJ controller in that case. I got my laptop and all the accessories in that jetpack. We got my guitar accessories in that jetpack. And then I got my EVH guitar gig bag. And then I got my Les Paul hard case over there. All right, so let's start with something easy. We're gonna start with my DJ controller little carry case that we got here. So before I open it up, I take a Clorox wipe and I make sure to wipe the outside of the case, starting with the handles. And you want to get everything. The dirtiest place it touches is actually the bottom. So now the outside of the bag is clean. We'll remove the controller. We're going to put the case aside. So typically, the controller is the most touched surface during a gig, or your CDJs, or your mixer. And normally, under normal circumstances, I would use the lens wipes to clean this off. But if you want to make sure to deep clean it, make sure to use disinfectant Clorox wipes. Now, I will tell you, it's not exactly the best thing for the finish. If you do this often, a lot of the color and the printing on it, along with the finish, is going to start rubbing off. So typically what I do is I try to only use the disinfectant wipes once every 4 weeks, and I use the lens wipes during the other weeks. Right now, I did recently use the disinfectant on this, and I've only used this at home. So we're going to use the lens wipes today. So you open one of these up, and you just want to make sure to get everything, every little crevice. And probably one of the hardest parts to get is in between the knobs. In fact, if you look closely at your controller, you're going to see dust build up in between the knobs. You want to get rid of that. Make sure to get the jog wheels, and don't forget the sides of the jog wheels. Hold it in place. Get it right there. Now, if you're using the Clorox wipes, it's a lot more wet, so you have to be very, very careful not to let any of the liquid seep into it. You want to be, you might even want to alternate a paper towel or a microfiber cloth with the wipe. Just use the wipe to apply the cleaner on it, and then dry it off with the paper towel or microfiber. All right, that's all clean. Now, before you put your controller back into the case, make sure to take a disinfectant wipe and wipe inside as well, because this is where a lot of residue from your gigs tend to build up. Don't be afraid to wipe the foam. It's just a case. The case is to protect your gear. It doesn't have to be beautiful. And cleaning it helps protect you. Right? This is all clean. Close it up. Nice and fresh. So next, let's grab the jetpack, which is the computer laptop bag. So what you want to do is you want to take a disinfectant wipe and wipe down the whole thing, going from top to bottom. The reason you want to do that is because your bag tends to touch a lot of surfaces, including when you put it on the floor. They can pick up a lot of dirt, pick up a lot of germs. So you want to make sure to give this a good wipe down. And what's cool is I've actually used several Clorox wipes. I've cleaned this off many times, and it hasn't faded the surface or any of the colors. If you want to know more about the jetpacks, follow this link. So you want to clean the sides, this upper handle. Really important spot is actually the straps, especially the ends, because this tends to dip itself in nasty places, especially when you're in an airplane, because whenever you put your bag under your seat, the straps tend to sit outside right into the aisle, and people tend to step on it, especially when they come from the bathroom. Think about that. Get the back, because sometimes you might sweat. And most importantly, the bottom. So now we're going to pull out my MacBook Air, which is my laptop. And I'm going to do two things in how I'm going to clean this. So first, I'm going to use a disinfectant wipe for the outside, because this is just a cover. But when I open it up, I have to be really careful with the inside, because there's a special finish on the surface that you don't want to apply bleach on, because it'll start to come off over time. And same goes for the protective coating on the display. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use the lens wipes for these areas. But for the keyboard where it gets touched the most, I'm going to dab a little bit of the disinfectant wipe and then wipe it off with paper towel. The keyboard, it's not that hard to replace these little chiclets on there. But you do want to be careful with the liquid cleaner, because you don't want it seeping into the electronics inside. And MacBooks are typically sensitive to getting wet. So disinfectant wipe, let's wipe this down. Now what I'm going to do is, once I used the disinfectant wipe, I'm just going to slightly, without pressing down, just dab a little bit of it over the keyboard, where you just kind of see it glazing over there. And just be careful not to get much on the surface. You will get a little bit, but just as long as you're not rubbing it into it. And then just take a paper towel and then just buff it off. If there's any residue, you might just want to take this time to scrub that off. Oils from your hand with the heat from the computer tend to create little gunk marks on there. Now I'm going to take another lens wipe. I'm going to use it to clean the display. And now clean the surface of the top case, including the trackpad. Now, if you want to avoid swirl marks on the display, you can use the thinner microfiber cloth and just buff it out. Then I'm going to do a reflection test. Oh, that's perfect. Just a little bit of dust right here, but it's not a big deal. Laptop is all clean. I see a lot of you guys with MacBooks with some nasty fingerprints on the display. This stuff you're going to love. So next, you want to go through all the accessories, wires, power cables, USB cables that you use during your gig. And you just want to go through them and use the disinfectant wipe and just wipe them all down. Well, we got my laptop stand. Clean the surface. And you take this out. Just want to make sure to clean that. You want to take all your USB cables that you use. Now, I only used one, but since they share a compartment inside the bag, I'm going to go through and just wipe down all of them. Really easy way to do this. Just pull right through. Some of you guys might think this is too much, but I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this so that I don't bring sickness to someone elderly who could run into a serious condition. And it's cool that my chroma cables are colored, so it's easy to keep track which ones are cleaned if I have them all bunched up. So here's one that's really important, which is my power brick. This is really important because it tends to end up in sometimes nasty places in the DJ booth. So you want to make sure that this is pretty clean, especially if you're going to use it in your house. You know, like if this was on the floor, just think about it when you're in the DJ booth. You never know. Some DJ walks to the bathroom, someone threw up on the floor, and then they walk back into the DJ booth, and then this thing, your power brick, was sitting on that same floor. So just keep that in mind. Or maybe not, that's a gross thought. But I'm just saying, this ends up in a lot of nasty places. And once I'm done wiping this down, I do not reuse this wipe. This wipe is done. So now we got our headphones. So let's wipe this. Open this up. We're gonna toss this towel into the laundry. Wipe the inside. Now remember, your headphones, you tend to sweat into them. So you want to make sure that these are clean. Now you've got to be careful as well, because as much as I want to use disinfectant wipes with the headphones, you got to remember that this is going to be sitting also on your clothing. So just make a decision. If you're not going to use the disinfectant wipe, you can use the lens wipe. If you do use the disinfectant wipe, make sure to just dry it. Use a paper towel. You want to get as much of the cleaner off from it once it's wiped down. So what's nice about the Pioneer HDJ X10s is the cushions are designed in a way that doesn't absorb sweat, so they don't end up stinking. And I'm sure some of you have actually borrowed headphones from a guy who needs to change those cushions. So once we're done with the headphones, dry them off with a paper towel, then put them back. And we'll set these aside. Now, if you have any wires you used at your last gig, you want to pull those out as well. And then run the microfiber on them, just like we did with the USB cables. These are important, especially if you run them and they're touching the ground. And sometimes it's not even about disinfecting them. Sometimes they just, there's just moisture that just made them sticky. Or say you have one of those infamous DJ booths with a ledge that just invites people to put their drink there, and then it spills over onto your stuff. I just realized I just killed an idea for one of my videos, which was going to be what's in my jetpack, because I'm literally doing that right now. Anyways, next we got the iPad. We'll take the disinfectant wipe. Now what's good with the iPad, unlike the laptop, is there's a screen protector on it. Since it's a screen protector, I'll just use the disinfectant wipe. And I'm going to leave this open so the surface can dry. Now, if I'm picky and I want to make sure that there's no swirl marks, I could run the microfiber towel and just buff it off. I'm not that picky with the iPad only because it's going to get touched and it's going to have a million fingerprints no matter what. So I just leave it as is. External hard drive, wipe that down. Little accessories, I have what I use for my hard drive and my laptop. Little stand. Now, if you notice, I haven't been putting anything back into the bag. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a disinfectant wipe and I'm going to just run it down the inside of the bag where all these items were living in. Starting with the laptop slot. And then inside each pocket. And this is what I love about the jetpack. It's easy to access a lot of areas because they're all divided. Now we're ready to put everything back in there. But we'll set this aside and we're going to move on to the next thing we're going to clean. All right, so we got the other jetpack. This jetpack is designed for portable turntables, but what I'm using it for is for my guitar accessories. So my multi-effects pedal and my guitar stands, my wireless guitar system, it's all in here. So same routine, wipe it down top to bottom. Most important spots are the straps. Want to get the back, get the ends, the tips. All right, so want to get little crevices. This is my wireless system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this down, even the box, and then open them up, and one by one, just going to clean them off. These don't get touched too much, but you know, you just want to make sure that there's nothing nasty lingering on them. If you brought out the wire, make sure to clean that as well. Usually I don't, because I only charge them when I'm at home. I typically go wireless, so I usually don't touch my wires here, but I do use this wire for the expression pedal. So I'm going to clean this, and it is touching the guitar cable, the two backup guitar cables. So we want to make sure to wipe those down as well. Especially this one, because this one's braided. When a wire is braided, sure, it's stronger. Sure, it has some strength to it, but it also absorbs a lot more. In fact, there's a little brown spot of a spill somewhere along this wire. When you're done, wipe the inside of this compartment. Then we open the next compartment. I have a guitar sleeve that I use. Typically, if I do use it, I'm going to put it in the laundry. If I don't end up using my tools, my multi-tool, I wait to clean it, but we can clean it today. Just give it a good wipe down. My picks, it's really important to actually go one by one, and this is going to get tedious, but just clean them off because they do build up residue. In fact, I can see a little bit of brown stuff on there. Yeah, it's gross, but it's more gross that you leave it there. All right, so let's open up the main compartment. So number one, let's take out the multi-effects. If you use it as a pedal, it's very important that you clean it because it's at your feet, but I use it tabletop. And I'll use a disinfectant wipe because it's a metal construction and it's meant to be used as a pedal. So it can take disinfectant cleaner. And then I take power adapter, clean that off. Mini mixer from videos ago. And once I get everything inside clean, I just wipe it down. And then we can start putting everything back in it. This way, and the reason why I'm cleaning this is because this lives on my desk in the studio when it's at home, but it's always on the surface of a lot of nasty DJ booths. So next we're gonna pull out guitar stands. This lives on the floor sometimes, so make sure to clean it top to bottom, bottom being last. Remember, your guitar touches this, your guitar touches your body. You want to make sure these are clean. And there's 2 guitar stands because I brought both my guitars to my last gig. Now, this is my foot pedal that I use with my feet. It's the expression pedal, and I keep it in a bag for a reason. It's that way, after using it at a gig, I'm not throwing it back in my bag with all the nastiness on it exposed to all my other stuff that I typically use in my hands. So that's why I keep it in the original plastic bag that it came with. So before we clean that, let's use the remaining wipe and just wipe down the inside. And now let's clean the pedal. If you're wondering what this is a Boss EV30. And I switched to this one because its construction is more durable than the one that I keep for home. All right, we're all done with the guitar accessories. We're done with the laptop bag and the DJ controller. Let's show you how to clean a guitar gig bag and a guitar hard case. So it's pretty straightforward. You want to go top to bottom. This is my EVH one right here. You want to clean the straps once again, because these typically touch the most. And then the handles right here. So let's grab another towel. We're going to pull out the accessories. We're going to clean the guitar strap because this gets a lot of sweat and residue on it. We're going to clean the whammy bar. We put it all back. We're going to clean the inside, both surfaces, up and down. Make sure to get the corners. Basically, I'm taking my hand and with the wipe and getting to the corners. And you want to do that both facing upward and downward. Now, today we're not going to go over how we're going to clean the guitar because I already did a video on that. You don't want to use the lens wipe cleaner or disinfectant on your guitar. But basically, you do want to wipe down the inside of your guitar case because a lot of stuff gets built up inside the guitar from you playing on it, especially around the bridge. I actually did a video on how to clean and polish your guitar, and it was also released by Turtle Wax, so the link's right here if you want to know. But one good habit to have is to make sure that after every gig, you wipe it down. Like, take a microfiber cloth and just skim it underneath the strings and over the strings. It doesn't just keep your guitar clean, it keeps any residue that can damage the finish on the metal, and it also keeps gunk from building up on the guitar string. And when there's a buildup on the guitar string, it actually doesn't sound as good because it kills the tone. So just make sure you're always carrying a microfiber towel with you with your guitar. So next we got the Les Paul hard case, and this one, you just want to wipe it down. This case has been pretty good to me and my guitar. Got it from Guitar Center when I was ready to start taking my Les Paul style guitar to gigs. And once again, I already gave you guys a link as to how to clean the guitar, but you just want to make sure to clean the inside of the case. Just wipe it down with a disinfectant wipe. One area that you really want to get, and even is right where your strings are. If you look, this is where all the nasty residue actually builds up. That's why it's a little, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a little brown. It's pretty gross because it does come from my fingers. And then of course you want to take the accessories and just wipe them down one by one. Guitars, especially the guitar strap. And once you're done with this, you want to clean, just wipe the inside of the accessory cavity. Oh, and one place I forgot to mention, you really want to clean up the latches because germs like to live on metal surfaces. All right, so we made a pretty big mess and I'm gonna have to put this all back. Actually, some of this I'm gonna have to carry one by one back to the basement. But yeah, that's how I clean my music gear after every gig. Now, what I mean by after every gig, I really mean by the end of the weekend, after a gigging weekend. Once I take everything home, this is how I clean everything. After I'm all cleaned up here, what I do is I actually mop around this area because I was basically cleaning in this area, and I wipe down the chairs and the table. If these were normal times, I wouldn't be so uptight about it. I can probably handle getting sick, but I don't want somebody who can't handle the sickness to get sick from me carrying it to them. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you got any comments, questions, or anything to add, please share them down below in the comments section. We'd love to hear your thoughts, answer any questions, or hear how you guys clean your music gear when you come home from a gig. If you like this video, please smash that like button. And if it's your first time here and you found this video useful, please click that subscribe button and don't forget to click that little bell icon so you get a notification the next time I upload a video. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Take care, and don't forget to wash your hands.